What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking in on an old classic, Spellcaster University. This is a really fun game. I like this game a lot, in fact. This is one of those games that I've dumped a lot of hours into. And so anyways, if you've never seen Spellcaster University before, this is a game where you're building your own personal Hogwarts. Effectively, you set up your schools and like what magics they teach, and it is all set against a backdrop of an impending kind of apocalyptic doom that is coming. If you pull off all your objectives, then you can stop the impending doom. If you do not, then the game's got a little bit of a roguelite feel to it, where you collect bonuses for the next run, and then you do it again, and then if you fail again, you get more bonuses and more things that you can work on and more curses on your school and stuff like that, and eventually the game actually gets pretty multifaceted. So if you're wondering why I'm doing this video, it's because we actually have content coming up for this game in the next couple of weeks. The developers are releasing the first content patch since the game was in kind of 1.0. The game came out of early access last year, but the developers announced recently that they're going to be adding some more content to the game, probably around the beginning of April. And so we're going to dive on in, take a look at the game today, and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on. If after watching this, you did indeed want to get the game for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. On top of that, you can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream. Chances are, by the time this video goes live, I will have streamed the game or will be streaming the game, just to give you a little bit more in-depth of a look. But let's play. We'll go ahead and we will start a new campaign. We'll leave everything on the default since that's where most players are going to jump on in. And we've got to design our school. Give me a second and I'll see what I can whip up. Alright, so we'll start it off right here. We have Glorious Gimble's Grandiose Wizardry. I couldn't think of anything that started out with G to keep the alliteration going, so unfortunately I tripped and fell on that front. But for the sake of just showing the game off, I think it'll be fine. At the beginning of the game, you've got to decide where you want to put your first school. If you don't like your decision, don't worry about it. The world is ending, and you're going to pick a new spot anyways after you lose. So it's no biggie. We can start at the lake. So that allows us to basically make opportunities with the creature of the lake. Basically, each of these map locations has kind of its own surrounding lore and storyline that you've got to kind of work around. So if you go to the village, you got to deal with the minstrels. If you go to the forest, you got to deal with the troll. You go to the lake, you got to deal with the creature of the lake. It's really up to you which one you want to do, but I have experienced most of them, the desert, like all the other maps that they have, and honestly, like, the little backdrop story is nice. It gives you something variable that you can grab onto when you're still doing, like, rebuilding another school after losing effectively. So let's go with the lake. That sounds good. It says the students have a longer trip to school and we got to deal with the creature of the lake. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Alright, the island in the middle of the lake would be perfect for building a magic university and will shelter us from the forces of evil. This university will be majestic. The downside is that the students will have to take a long walk to the closest village, so you should make sure they have everything they need at the university. And apparently there's an evil lake creature roaming around, so take care, yeah? We can decide what we want to do here. So the basic way that the game works is that you've got cards. These cards will build new wings onto your, like, wizardry castle, and you get more cards by spending money or mana. The mana is generated by people studying different schools of magic and performing different feats inside that school. And so we kind of want to decide early what we want to specialize in. It's like if you go to some medical schools, they will specialize in, you know, cancer, or they will specialize in gastroenterology, or whatever else. Exact same thing in the magical world. You got to decide if you're going to be like nature wizards, wizards of light, and once you decide if you're going to be like a wizard of light, what kind of wizard of light are you going to be? Are you going to be like an inquisitor that tortures the forces of evil for information? Are you going to be a wizard of light that heals people? Like, there's further, like, sub-schools and things like that that you basically have to learn. And so anyways, we can decide that the lake is an ancient seat of power. It will do fine, and we get a bunch of mana for that. We can get a bunch of money, and that will allow us to have extra houses. Or we can say that it is harmonious, which will give us 2 starting schools in shadow and light. I'll probably start out with arcane and alchemy. That sounds good. So there it is. We have mana. Now, if you want to get a new card that gets added on into your hand, you have to spend mana inside that school. So, for example, if we wanted to draw something from the Arcane School of Cards, we have to have 100 Arcane mana. If we wanted to draw something from the Alchemy deck, same thing. If we wanted to draw a General Purpose card, it costs money. We've started out with some things in our hand. We've got 2 houses that we can establish. We've got a draft of students that we can bring on in that will generate income and also start generating mana as they learn. We've got a dormitory. Each of your students have RimWorld-like needs that need to be satisfied, otherwise things aren't going to work out. So, for example, they have tiredness, they have hunger, they have fear, they have all of these things that need to be managed, but luckily, one thing that the game does very, very well is it strikes a balance here, where the game is almost the perfect balance of like mechanics that need to be paid attention to, but once you have paid attention to them, they are basically on autopilot and you don't have to worry about them anymore. That's just like, mwah, that's like right in the sweet spot for me. I hate like long, prolonged situations where I've just got to micromanage. So our island is pretty small. We're going to have to be really, really careful about how we build here, and we are going to have to build with some semblance of verticality. Otherwise, we're going to have a hard time and we're going to soft lock ourselves. So we need a refectory. That's a place where our students can eat. These rooms are much more than meet the eye. These rooms have a function, and then you can also put kind of like, you can put decorations inside the rooms or doodads, and those doodads will do various things. Some of them will raise your reputation with the factions of the realm. Some of them will increase the speed at which students study certain types of magic for X amount of days. Some of them will make it so that if your students walk through the room, they get a buff so that when they fight against monsters that are invading or whatever, they're better at fighting. You do kind of want to orchestrate and plan where everything's going to be at. So like with this opening vestibule right here, I always like to put something that buffs combat inside this room so that when enemies invade and all of our students run through this room to go fight the enemies, they get that buff that makes their combat like 50% better. Like little forethoughts like that actually really, really matter in this game for kind of increasing the efficacy of your students and the way that they work. We do need a dormitory. The dormitory is where people sleep at. We'll put that on the second floor. And then we need a student hall. This will allow students to reduce their boredom. I would suggest that we maybe put it right there. And so anyways, I really like the clumping system in this game and the way that like the roof will change and like the topography of the building will change based on all the weird directions that you're building in. It actually ends up being pretty good. So let me design some of my schools here. So since we're focusing on arcane magic, we are absolutely positively going to want to have one house that focuses entirely on arcana. We also have alchemy in there, and so honestly, we can probably double bang that out pretty easily. Arcana is, I think, split up into temporal magic, like warp magic, and like something else, and alchemy is split up into like potions and like crystals and some other things. It's been a while since I played the game last, but we've got to come up with a sigil over here. I'm going to go ahead and design all this, and I'll set it up, and then you guys can kind of take a look at what I did, and if you decide to play the game for yourself, you can design your own schools. Okay, so for our first school, it's going to be Waggleshire. We've got Arcana in here, and we've got Alchemy in here. And so, honestly, we've compressed a lot of this straight on in. We can take Jack of all trades, so that means they learn the first level of magic if they're in this school 100% faster. We can give them Alchemy Apprentice, which will make them better at alchemy. I think that's a really good idea. I find that specializing in this game is a really, really good idea. We've got Light Sleepers, okay, we've got Steadfast, and then we've got Ambitious. Let's go ahead and do Ambitious, and then we've got to decide what color their cloaks are going to be. We'll go with that bluish color right there, and Waggleshire has been formed. I'm just going to keep it at a general class right now, and Waggleshire. The reasons for that being is that we don't have any mana from any other schools. And so we're really only going to be generating mana inside that school anyways. We're mostly going to be funneling people into our speciality. So why worry about it? Let's draw from the arcane deck. We've got the Elementalist Dojo. That's good. It's a really good idea. I think we should probably go for that. So that's going to be our first skill that practices Arcana. So there it is. And when you place the building, you've got to hire a teacher. We have a chaotic good and we have a chaotic good. Pedagogy is basically how good they are at dictating their curriculum to the students and how fast the students will learn underneath them. Unionized determines how expensive their wages are and also how happy they are. So unionization in this game means that you got to pay them way more money, but it does have an upshot. It means that they are much less likely to get bored, tired, all that kind of stuff because their working environments are better. So we probably want to go with her because I think Lily Huang is actually the better choice between these two. So she is now our elementalism teacher. She's going to teach them how to shoot fireballs. She's going to teach them how to do all that fun stuff. Let's draw another card. We got the temporal room. Okay, so, and we've also got portal magic, so we can decide between portal magic and temporality, effectively. Let's go with time magic. That sounds good. And we can actually plop time magic, kind of like... Time magic's going to be in a weird spot, I think, no matter what we do. I'll put time magic right there for right now. Now we've got to hire another teacher. He's got good pedagogy, so I'm going to hire him without even looking at all of his features. But be forewarned, every student and every teacher in this game has a bunch of features about themselves. Things like whether or not they're greedy, are they brave, are they fat? There's a bunch of different things on each teacher that's going to decide how well they do their job, and with the students, how well they learn. Now that we've got this kind of set up, let's go from the alchemy deck real fast. We do have a library over here. The library effectively gives the students a study hall where they can improve their best school of magic. And so we're going to put the librarian over here. I like the library a lot because the library allows you to train magic even when school is out, effectively. Like, the students that are particularly motivated will go into the library and they'll just sit here and improve their best school of magic. This matters because your students graduate after X amount of time, and when they graduate, they get job offers. And the job offers that they get and the things they end up doing with their careers bring prestige and bonuses back to your school for concurrent playthroughs, thus providing replayability. And so, like, it matters. You really want your students to be about as good as possible at the end of the game when things start to fall apart. Let's get our first students on in here. Okay, so we have Barry Gaspode, who is diligent and chosen by the light. We don't have any light magic, so that doesn't really matter. He's claustrophobic, and he is antisocial. He goes general class. We have a shadow disciple, Goth. General class. General class is what you keep over here. It's basically they study whatever. They aren't focused on anything. They take classes at random, and they end up with whatever stats they end up with. The reason why I'm taking these guys and putting them inside the general class is because they don't have any features that make them better at alchemy, and they don't make them better at arcana. And so really, we only want the people that are very, very gifted at those particular schools of magic to go into the specialized schools where they only get that training and nothing else. That way that they can rise as high into the echelons of that chosen school as fast as possible. The people with bad features, we don't really care how they do in school. We just throw them in the general class. Light sleeper, beautiful, passionate. You know what, Albert? You can be Waggleshire. I give you permission. Beautiful and passionate is good enough. Okay. Let's let our school run. So as you can see, every single one of the rooms is animated and has things going on. When you teach an elementalist class, it looks entirely different from teaching a sacred class, which looks different from teaching an assassination and dueling class, which looks different from a druidic class. It's all very, very nice things. So as you can see, they're walking in right now, and they are going to start populating the school and doing activities. Let's get our last arcane draw over here. We've got a royal banner, so every character that's doing something in this room gives us reputation with the king. We've got the sign of the eldest, which means that if they have portal magic and demonology, the Lord of Evil is repelled by 1% when they graduate. And we've got the Psi crystals. Active characters in this room get SpedX, speeding all their activities up by 25% as well as the growth rate of their needs. I'll probably go with the royal banner. And since the royal banner benefits by people using the room that it's inside of, we want a room that has a lot of capacity. And so I'm going to put it inside the dining hall so that when people are in here eating, the king becomes friendlier with us, because there are various factions that you're going to be trying to balance reputation with. Otherwise, you end up with dire consequences. Okay, so we've got some events that pop on up. Down here in the bottom left, you're going to have to resolve events. And these are really just kind of speed bumps to break up the monotony of watching your students do stuff. That's pretty much it. And so it just gives you something to think about and work on. So the villagers send their regards. Hi there, we're from around here and we don't like trouble. We're not fond of strangers. What do you do exactly? We focus on the healing of farm animals. That will make them happy. We can tell them that we only train necromancers, which will make them upset with us, but we get shadow mana. Or we can tell them that we work on light. Let's go for druidism. That sounds good. That gives us a card that we can draw over here, and it has given us the dolmen. So we actually can literally teach people how to do druidism. So there we go. I don't know where I want to put this. I'll probably put it right there. That sounds fine to me. With our teachers, we've got a neutral evil. He's got Corporo Sano, and then over here, or Corpore Sano, and then under the king's protection, so that would actually balance with our banner, because as he does his job, we gain reputation with the king. We can also take the chaotic good, who has better pedagogy, because he has bad pedagogy. She's inspiring, So that's good. She loves her job, she's relaxed, but she's greedy. We'll go with the druidism teacher. It's fine. We don't even have a druid house, though. So let's go ahead and set up a druid house real fast for anybody that just by happenstance ends up being especially talented with nature magic. Okay, so we have Bramblebriar over here. Bramblebriar is kind of like in a rough place. We didn't really get the features that we wanted. This is randomized down here when you make a house. I was hoping they would get something that would make them better at nature, but alas, that is not the way that it has gone. And so anyways, we'll just have them focus on nature magic. We've already got them in the green robes to show that they enjoy things like clovers and, I don't know, vines and, I don't know, weird yetis that live out in the woods. I'm not exactly sure what people like that are into. So we've got a beautiful person who is allergic to crustaceans and hyperactive, okay? We've got a voracious worker. We'll go general class. Chosen by the light, not really that helpful here. General class. Beautiful, comical, and hyperactive. And also a vampire, apparently. Okay, general class, chosen by the light, general class. Unfortunately, we're not getting a lot of people that are predisposed towards Arcana right now. Hopefully we will at some point. Here's the king. A new school for my kingdom. How great. So very great, and I would very much like to help, for I am a fair and generous king. What do you desire? We can get a free room, or we can get 200 bucks. I'm gonna get the free room. The free room is an enchantment workshop, actually. That's not too bad. We can also get a janitor. Janitors will clean up graffiti and things that bad children have done while they're running around just kind of doing the things that bad children do. I'll probably go with the enchantment workshop, just to guarantee that we get like a little bit of something done here, because we do have people with alchemy. And so anyways, now with our enchantment teachers here, we've got to make a decision. We've got good pedagogy over here. So that's nice. In fact, I'll probably go with her just based on the good pedagogy. There we go. Throw her on in there. It'll be fine. We've generated a little bit of mana. As you can see, our arcane mana is going up. Unfortunately, because we've turned in so many arcane cards, it's going to take us a little while to get there. Other numbers you need to be aware of. This number right here is your prestige. You want that to be really, really high when you end the game. It determines kind of the bonuses you get and whatnot. I found a window between 2 troll massacres to come say hi. The opening for a new magic school is always good news for the Adventurers Guild. What kind of mages do you make? We can say that we are healers. We can say that we blow stuff up, or we make magic trinkets. Blowing stuff up, please. We've already got an Elementalist dojo. You can level these up, by the way, I think, by playing the same card on top of a pre-existing room. We've got a demonic chamber, and we've got a magical hat. Probably take the dojo, and then we'll just level it up inside of here. And as you can see, they've got, like, levitating geomancy, and now they've got the kids smoking hashish or something. I don't know. We leveled it up. Now, we need to send out a guinea pig in order to raise or lower our reputation with the people around. These are all the factions that exist. We can send them to the village to make the peasants like us more. We can send them to the Inquisition to make the light mages like us more. We can send them to the tavern to make adventurers like us more, so on and so forth. Let's focus on the king for right now. I came for the pleasure of conversing with our dear majesty. There we go. We're just going to work on our reputation on that side. We can't keep this up, sir. Grading all the homework takes an eternity, and our students don't help. They're utterly incompetent. Their beds are like bricks, our meals are paltry, not to mention our wages. This is why my colleagues and I have one demand to make. A box that makes coffee. Okay? Yeah, we'll order a coffee machine. There you go. So now we have a coffee machine. Active teachers in the room gain caffeinated, which reduces tiredness by 100% for a few minutes, but they have a chance of unionizing. Fair enough. I actually don't have like a teacher's lounge or anything to put it in right now. But maybe I mean, I guess I could put the coffee machine. I'm going to wait till I have a teacher's lounge. We'll put it in there. We have more school applicants. General class, well-behaved bully. General class, light sleeper, popular goth. We'll go ahead and put them in Bramblebriar, I guess. Why not? We're not getting any of the people that have features that make them learn certain schools of magic faster, which is what I'm looking for and what I'm waiting for. See, in this game, you don't want to focus on No Child Left Behind. In fact, you very much do want to leave children behind in this game. The best way to play this game that I've found is to take the really, really, really talented kids and you isolate them from all of the idiots. And you focus on them 100%. You don't pay attention to the idiot kids with no talent at all. You just let them run around, lick the windows. You let them roll their hands around in the campfire. You let them make all kinds of messes. Just ignore them. It's fine. They don't matter for your ending score. What you're looking for is the really, really talented kids, and you put everything into them so that when they graduate, you get such a massive bonus for creating like a world-renowned hero that it makes up for all the drooling idiots that you produced in the meantime. That's my strategy anyways. That's how I play this game. Oh, we had an accident. One of our kids converted his head into a pumpkin. I'm gonna have to get a nurse's office. We can't fix that until we have a nurse's office. How he eats with a pumpkin head, I don't know. Apparently he manages. But there it is right there. Aberration, pumpkin, learns half as fast but no longer becomes hungry, has a chance to disappear, or can be cured in the infirmary. So there you go. Magic spell went wrong, turned her head into a pumpkin. You see what I mean? Don't worry about the kids that turn their heads into pumpkins. Worry about the kids that got it right the first try. All right, so Solstice Ball is around the corner. This would be a good opportunity to forget about the war. What are we preparing? Here's $50 to set up a Solstice Ball? Sure, why not? And then we've got more students coming in. Arcane Scholar, welcome. You are now a part of Waggleshire. You are General Class. You're a light sleeper. General Class. Child of Nature. There we go. Bramblebriar. Perfect. Bramblebriar. Let's go ahead and see if we can draw some general purpose cards. We've got a Student of the Month. We've got the Canopy Bed. Whenever somebody sleeps in it, we get money. And we've got the Room of Shadows. This will allow us to apparently focus on the dark arts. Go with the Canopy Bed. More money is good. And so there we go. We've upgraded one of the beds inside of our sleeping area. Let's draw another card. And we've got a Teacher's Lounge. That's actually what I was looking for because I need to fill this gap right here. There's a big gap in the middle of my building, and it's basically just a really, really over-glorified pedestal for my coffee machine. There we go. I have made the teachers happy. They have received, in bargaining between me and the workers, the right to have their own room full of coffee. We can send out the guinea pig again. We are going to focus on the king as per usual. I think, yeah, there we go. We'll just keep working on our reputation with the king. It's not a bad place to start. The Royal Tax Department looked over your files, and it seems like you forgot to pay the tax on magic. This tax is easily forgotten, so we won't apply any penalties for now. Do not thank us. It is in our nature to help the government coming to take my money. All taxation is theft. All right, I guess I'll pay my taxes because I don't like going to jail. All right, so Henry has one eyeball. They learn all magic 10% faster. Put them in Waggleshire. Courageous and popular. Okay. Can't learn alchemy very well and allergic to crustaceans. All right, let's go with Bramblebriar then. We'll focus on that. Arcane Scholar. Very nice. Now we're starting to get people into our specialized classes. That's what I like to see. As you can see right here, they're generating all kinds of mana and stuff. We've got another Elementalist Dojo, or we can get a purple dragon that wanders around the house, and everybody that walks past the purple dragon gets better at learning arcane magic. I kind of want to level up my dojo so that it works better. There we go, and look at that. We've added filigree to whatever this dueling platform is now. Very nice. It's the little details like that that actually made me really enjoy this game the first time that I played it. Like, I really liked the fact that as you upgraded the rooms by having duplicates and whatnot, like, they get more things hanging on the wall, they look nicer, they get little lighting and reflective effects, they get little rugs put down. The rooms become more refined. It's time to create specific teaching goals. We should put a curriculum together so that our students end up with great futures. What curriculum would you like to create? We can go with a plane shifter, a metamorph, or a squire. Let's go with the plane shifter for right now, I guess. You can adjust the attributes of any of your classes as you want to from right here. It doesn't really affect anything. I'll probably have them do a little bit of light magic then, just because we've got that focus in our curriculum now. I don't want to. I feel like we're dipping a little bit too deeply, but it is what it is. All I'm saying is I see hordes of students misbehaving, and they're making so much noise that I can't concentrate. It's becoming annoying. Okay, so we can get a burning pyre for the bad students, or we can get the mystical eye, which allows us to spy on them. Burning children seems like one of those things that later on down the line I'm going to earn a hashtag for, so I'm going to go with the spy. I think we can put the spy like right here, and I think this stops kids from misbehaving. I think. Oh, never mind. It doesn't do what I thought it did. Diligent, antisocial, and old-fashioned. Okay. Diligence is good. Yeah, go ahead and do Waggleshire. You're passionate. You can go Bramblebriar. Just keep filing the kids on in. We're not generating a whole lot of mana right now, so we just got to kind of wait for our points to fill up. What's this event? Every respectable school needs a magical discipline that they specialize in. We'll go with Arcane Magic. That sounds good. We'll go with Arcana, because that's what we started out with. We're going to continue kissing ass with the king, because if there was ever somebody to give the old booty smooches to, I think it's the big man with the big gold crown. And as you can see, they're having a magical duel right now. They're learning how to fight each other with fireballs and magic missiles. We're bored, and we don't know what to do. There's nothing fun to do in the students' hall. Okay, let's go ahead and I will purchase a creature that you can interact with. A creature that wanders around the school and reduces the needs of the characters working in the same room. The plant that eats hands, it reduces boredom but reduces health, okay. The fawn, it wanders the school and greatly decreases the growth rate of tiredness and boredom of teachers. Let's go with the kitty. I like kitties. Kitties are good. Where can I put the kitty at? There we go. We'll have a little magical kitty in the corner over here who just kind of hangs out and does what he does. A procrastinator. Throw that one in the bin. An orphan. If this student dies, you don't lose prestige. We'll bin both those. Like, they don't really have the things that we want. Ah, we've got a message from the orcs. Greetings, humans! Our clans need sorcerers to fight the king's forces. I wondered if you could help. We're real nice folks, and if you could gain the trust of the orc clans and improve your relationship with us to 90, that'd be real cool. So what do you say? We're kind of like making friends with the king right now, so I normally I'd be all in on siding with, you know, the orcs, but for the moment, like, not really in the overall plan of what we're trying to do. You can go Bramblebriar, I guess. I need 50 more mana points over there. Need about 100 mana points over there. We need like 10 more right here. Alchemy! All right, so we've got Potions class. What should we do with Potions class? Let's go ahead and we'll put Potions class in right here above the Golemancy class. So we've got an ex-adventurer who is corpore sano, but he's a poser who's voracious. Okay, I think we're probably going to have to go with Ida Winterfall then, because the other guy is kind of terrible. Apparently somebody has put an anarchy sign over here. Man, that's something I haven't seen since the 8th grade. All right, we've got more nature magic coming on in right now. They can learn some beast magic, or we can get a green bed. That means that anybody that sleeps in there improves their druidism and herbalism. Let's go with the stable first. We'll probably put the stables right there. I don't want the stables to go right there. We'll put the stables up top. Let's put a cool tower up there. This guy is an elder, and he teaches faster. We have excellent pedagogy over here, so let's just take the excellent pedagogy just right at face value. We're going to keep kissing ass with the king. Before the castle waits a group of horses alongside packs of dogs, the royal hunt is about to begin. Enjoy the hunt, your majesty. We may need to beg the king for money later on, and so, like, that's kind of why we're cozying up to the old king arenas right now. We've got another card right here where we can get another... Ooh, let's get the temporal room upgrade, sure. There we go. Make the temporal room a little bit nicer so that it teaches faster. Hello, did you know that neighboring schools give scholarships to their best students? What about you? Yes, I guess. I don't want new students, but apparently I get new students right now. Shadow Discipline and Deaf, okay. Athletic Gourmet, Child of Nature, you're a Bramblebriar. Chosen by the Light, you're a Waggleshire. Who else we got in here? Gourmet, nope. Unbreakable, nope. Worker's fine. I guess worker's okay. Unbreakable, nope. Jack of all trades is like fine. All right, there we go. So we've got some new admissions coming on in, just making sure that the coffers are frequently and consistently full. This meter up here dictates when the Dark Lord attacks and the game effectively ends. So you're basically just trying to accomplish as many really, really well-educated students as possible before this happens. This is Spellcaster University. I hope you guys liked the episode. The game is about to get some new content, so I figured I would introduce people to it. I like this game tremendously. It's a lot of fun. I've dumped a lot of hours into it. There's a lot of moving parts here. The only downside is that once you've seen all the events and you've seen all the random stuff that can happen, it can become a little bit humdrum. But honestly, by the time I hit that point, I think I had 10, 15 hours in it. And at that point, I was so focused on kind of like the meta progression and making my schools better and more prestigious that I wasn't really paying attention to the events anyways. I was running the game on 3x and basically just clicking through everything on muscle memory. And so I think the game's really, really cool. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had Spellcaster University. Tomorrow we will likely have something else, but up until then, it's time for me to go and get a snack. I'll see y'all later. Take care, everybody.